At SoFi yesterday. You love to see it. Please welcome the guy who quarterbacked 10 seasons in the NFL for the Jets, the Eagles, the Cowboys, Washington, and more. And now he's tweeting that he's undefeated in the broadcast booth, entered into his third season as a Fox NFL analyst. Mark Sanchez, you're killing it.
Well, that was just my, slick little comment to somebody saying, "Hey, are the Jets going to call you to come back?" And I was like, "Hell no, they ain't calling me."
Why not? Are you sure Woody doesn't have you on speed dial? Come on.
No, see, like mornings like today, we have a game yesterday. I don't need a massage today. I'm feeling good. I can just get up and go to work and have a ball, go pick up my little man from school, and we're rolling. Those days are gone, and I'm really enjoying this next chapter of my life. And you get to stay close enough to it. You saw there on the field, but just trying to avoid the dad bod. We got to loosen up those pants a little bit. Scary.
I'm sure it is, especially sitting in those broadcast booths where they're like, "Hey, you want some nachos? Hey, you want some this?" And you're like, "Shh. What am I doing?" Okay, so you're not going back to the NFL. That's case closed. That's done. Tell me, as you're in your third year, it feels like you've sort of hit your stride a little bit. What is really clicking for you? Because I really do mean it. You're crushing it for Fox.
I appreciate it. Hopefully I'm not quite there yet. I think there's still plenty of room to grow like anything. But, I really felt last year well, let me start with this. I feel like I'm very fortunate to have the same group with us, and you're showing everybody there. So Eric Billigmeyer's on the left, but most importantly is your partner next to you, and that's Kevin Kugler. He's been awesome for me and such a pro. I felt like in London last year is where we really took some strides together, and both of us were pretty nervous because that was our first, national game together. And, it was interesting because I have had these experiences as a player of playing on these huge stages, and you just run out of the tunnel and get the ball from the center and start playing the game. You're nervous and you're anxious, but you just want the game to happen because you're so prepared and so ready. And so I likened that experience to a championship game or a playoff game or a big rivalry game in the NFL as a player. And I was ready. I felt like I was ready to go. And Kevin, he hadn't been on a stage quite that big before, so he was a little tight, so I'm massaging his shoulders a little bit, almost like a cut man in boxing, talking to him like, "Come on, champ. We got this, champ. We put in the work, baby. It's time to let him know. It's time to let it show." Just messing with him. Stuff I've heard from other players, to get me excited as a rookie and make sure I'm nice and calm. And after that, he knocked that game out of the park. He was like freaking John Stockton, Magic Johnson, just set me up
Stockton
left and right.
In the short shorts. Gotta love that callback by you.
He's more John Stockton than Magic Johnson. I shouldn't have said Magic. He's more John Stockton.
Was like my favorite player back in those days, outside of Michael Jordan, but that's for another day. Okay, so you went from getting massages to giving massages, is what it sounds like. That's right. And I'm wishing you the full circle luck. Yeah. And I like that you're saying there's so much more, and there is, and there's a lot of movement for you to be able to work yourself up into. But as far as the games yesterday, you had the best seat in the house calling that Niners-Rams one. SoFi painted red with fans. People were texting me, no surprise here, Niners fans took over and took care of business 30-23. I cannot get enough of Brock Purdy, and I can't get enough of telling everybody who doubted him to shut up. So what did you see out of him that impressed you the most?
Well, it's so funny. There was remember the song like 10 years ago, "All I Do Is Win, 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 No Matter What"?
I still play it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a banger now. One of my favorites, okay? But you got to understand, it's DJ Khaled, and he's steady. You know exactly what you're going to get every time. Major key alert, another one, we the best, right? It's across the board. We know what we're going to get. That's the way I feel Brock Purdy is. Oh, but by the way, don't forget now, don't sleep on the ensemble cast. T-Pain, Snoop Dogg, Ludacris, you got Rick Ross. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, you got George Kittle, you got Juszczyk, and don't forget about the defense. It's an ensemble cast wherever you look. 3 levels of the defense. When you can name 3 or 4 D linemen on a defensive attack that you're about to play, that's a problem. That's a problem. And when one of them's the highest paid player, non-quarterback of all time, another very big problem. Even if he doesn't get the numbers, he's attracting the attention. And we're talking about Nick Bosa, you got to have presence on that guy. You got to have tight ends chip him. You got to have running backs try and take a piece of his ribs on their way out to their check down routes. So it's a tough one playing these guys. They just wear you down to the nubs. And then as soon as you make a mistake, they capitalize and they're all over you. It is, it's like a wild pack of hyenas on defense, and that offense is explosive. It's fun to watch. And you got to give the Rams credit though. They hung with them.
No cup.
at the start of the year, they trotted out 11 rookies on the field. Everybody thought these guys were going to tank. You know, they got no chance. Stafford's too old, this and that. Stafford's been dealing. And those 2 interceptions, one of them definitely not his fault. The second one, I think Van Jefferson could have came a little friendlier on the route. Obviously, I'll defend the quarterback till I die. But, you know, those kind of things are important. And the point is, suffice to say, you slip up on a minor detail, the 49ers make you pay, and they're just built. They're built to last. They're built to wear you down, and they're impressive. They're impressive.
I mean, they're 1-1 in the NFC West without the Cooper Kupp. Puka's out there doing his thing. It was such a fun.
Puka's balling, man.
Puka's crazy good. I had I was like, this is the worst roster I've seen in my life. This Rams roster. But no, I did. I said that. And then I quickly, mea culpa, Stafford, you are dealing. You are dealing out there after week 1. And then they did it in week 2, but up against Purdy, that's got to be hard. Now, I was like, my whole crew, we have like a group text going, audibly laughing at some of the things that were going on during this game yesterday. Take a listen to, take a listen to this. Let's take a listen to this, Jeb.
Uh-oh.
Well, here comes the corner cat by number 7, Javarius Ward, and Matthew Stafford with the little stanky leg move. The old guy still got it. Watch. Whoop, whoop.
There was that. There was no soup for you, Kevin.
You give the leg, and then you take it away. Stanky leg.
And then no soup for you, Kevin. The Kelly Slater, Christian McCaffrey comp was one of them, too. We were, like, making a list. We were all crying. Is this like, I worked with Nate Burleson for a long time, and he had that gift of injecting fun, metaphors, pop culture, and all of that. Do you prepare them? Do you come up with them on the fly? And do you have any idea how much energizing it is to listen to as a fan?
Well, that's the way I think, like, in general, the way I see the world. I just try and relate things to each other, and the way it kind of hits my brain to learn, whether it's a playbook way back in the day and a buzzword from a playbook that reminds me of something. Think of like Slumdog Millionaire. Like every answer he has is because of a past life experience, and like why he knows, you know, what a Colt 45 or a Smith & Wesson gun is. Like, oh, because he saw it, because his brother had that kind of gun, whatever. So I try and get there in my brain. The hardest part is like eliminating the stuff that I only know, or like somebody close to me would know, and not saying it on the broadcast, because everybody'd be like, what? Like, not everybody understands what's going on in your weird brain all the time. So I try and use the ones that are, you know, most common. And most of those just come up on the spot. Sometimes when you're watching tape during the week, you try and fit something in, or if there's like a pop culture thing that's going on, or a current events thing that's going on that's obviously safe enough to say on a broadcast, you let those ones fly. Like, you know, the week before I did a Burning Man reference, because I said, you know, if any of these offenses are ever stuck in the mud, like that's just a layup, you know? And so the Rams were sputtering on offense. I said, God, these guys look like they're stuck in the mud, man. Shout out Burning Man 2023. And Kevin about lost it.
I just
Next
love
to me,
it.
he had to hit the mute button and he started laughing.
It just takes ease, but usually that comes with lots and lots of reps. And the truth is, you don't get tons of those, because there's the value. Like, every game is so precious. There's so few of them. So, like,
Correct.
You know, when I feel very comfortable on camera, because I've done it hours and hours and hours every day for a really long time. But it really just takes being comfortable and making it conversational. I don't know why it's hard, but it is.
Yeah,
and it's high stakes
reps.
and all of that.
It's reps. You're right.
Yeah. Speaking of reps, Zach Wilson got some reps up against Micah Parsons.
Ooh.
Didn't go too well. I know you were working yesterday, but 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I saw that.
I know that, you know, you're a fan of his. It's out there. You're a mentor, of course, to young quarterbacks. What did you make of the performance? And then we'll get to Aaron Rodgers quickly.
Well, once again, I think it's one of those issues where you kind of run into a buzzsaw. You know, you're going to get up against one of the biggest or toughest defenses in the league this year. You saw it in week 1. You're about to see it in week 2. So you just lost your star player and your star quarterback, and now you're kind of thrust back into the spotlight. You get the reps this week. You didn't get them last week. There's a lot going on in his world. Not to make excuses, and bottom line, play in this position, you sign up for everything, and the bottom line to that is nobody cares. The good, the bad, the ugly. That's the way it goes. At the end of the day, you got the ball in your hands. You make the decision. You let it go. Nothing happens till you say hike, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's watching in the stands, at home, up front. Everybody waits for you to say go. So the onus is on you to take care of that football, because when you hold the football and make a decision with the football, you hold the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of the entire organization in your hands. So when you give it to the other team, you're going to have problems. Now, not just in the game, but in general, people are going to be talking about it. So I thought some of the ones that are so easy to clean up for him are going to be these reps versus zone coverage. And I think, you know, he throws one to the back, checking down to his left. It's at the bottom of the screen on the telecast. But when he throws this ball, the halfback's starting to slow down because he knows there's defenders in front of him. And the bottom line to this deal is, in zone, you find open windows and you sit down, reveal yourself to the quarterback, give him your numbers and hands and eyes. Okay, that's the body language I'm looking for. And you dot him with the ball. It means you put it right on his sternum. Or if you're going to give him an edge, that means if I hit you on this side, turn that way for me.
Got it.
He's throwing this ball in front of the guy, expecting like a man-to-man response. And he throws it right to the corner. And there goes Stephon Diggs going the other way. It's like a boomerang ball. You're like, whoa, what just happened? So little ones like that, I think he can really clean up.
It's well said. I think we just have a couple seconds with you, so I just want to say thank you, Mark Sanchez, for coming on. You got to come back. We got to talk about Rodgers. We had Tyreek Hill saying that New England fans are the worst in the NFL. Are they?
Well, that's not news. That's not news.
Mic drop. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest Up and Adams content right on YouTube.